just to start practicing in our laptops. Then we'll see the real-time installation. Okay, in the next class. Meanwhile, we'll see some more theory points are there. We'll discuss. Okay, today. Right. Check here like SQL Server components. SQL Server components are there. Basically, actually remember SQL Server is a collection of servers. Four servers. Okay. One is like one is here like database engine. Database engine is there, which is our main server. Database engine is our main server, which process the queries. Okay. So previous day we have seen, right, whenever we connect through SSMS SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so once we send or submit some query, right? Okay. Suppose I will say here, whenever we type some command execute, we are getting the output, right? How we are getting the output? We know that SSMS sends the query to database engine. Database engine executes that query. We are getting the result back. Okay, right. Yeah, that is like a database engine, which is our main server, where as a DBA we have to work with. Okay, right, right. So that's why while installation, remember, compulsory we have to select this option, database engine. Okay, which yesterday we have seen two services are installed automatically, SQL Server and SQL Server Agent. We'll see later, SQL Server is our main service which process the queries. Okay, select, update, delete, all these queries. Agent is for automation. Agent is for automation. Means like jobs, alerts. Means like as a DBA, already we have seen, right? We are scheduling the tasks. We are scheduling the tasks. So those scheduled activities are uh, implemented or executed by which service? Agent service. We'll see that again in detail. Just one point you remember. SQL Server is our main service which processes the queries. Okay, right. That's why always it should be running. Always, always it should be in running mode. Then we have some other three servers here, SSIS, SSRS, SSAS. Okay, SQL Server Integration Services, Reporting Services, Analysis Services, IS, RS, AS. Here IS, RS, AS. These are the other three services. Okay, so these three are called Microsoft Business Intelligence features, BI, MS, BI, Microsoft Business Intelligence features. Okay, so as a database admin, as a DBA member, we are not working with these services regularly. We'll work only with database engine and sometimes with the IS integration services. Basically, this SSIS is used for automation. Automation. SSIS is used for what? Automation. Okay. To schedule some activities, some task, we can use this SSIS. Just we'll see some introduction later. But Just remember only one point, don't get any confusion. Compulsory we need to install which service, SQL Server service, which is nothing but our database engine, which is processing the queries. Okay, application or user queries are processed by which server, database engine. Okay, right, right. We move ahead. Next important point is there from today's session. How SQL Server is there in a machine. Suppose let's say there is one machine with the name server 1. Okay, one laptop, for example, for just easy understanding. Okay, now here see, I have installed. Here see, I have installed SQL Server. This is one time. This box one time, two times. Just remember in the same machine, in the same laptop, same server, we can install SQL Server 50 times, 50 times. But uh, if we install 50 times, where is RAM, where is CPU, right? Actually, limitation is there up to that 50, but in real time, in one server, will install one time. One time. Suppose 100 servers are there in your environment, in one server, one time. Okay, maybe like in 2 3 servers or 5 servers, maybe two instances you have installed, for example, but one VM one time only. Check here. This just remember whenever we install SQL Server, remember very important point. Whenever we install SQL Server, we are calling it as a instance. Instance. Don't get any confusion whenever I am saying SQL Server, database engine, database server, SQL instance. All these are same. Okay, so instance is nothing but one copy of SQL Server. How we can see how many instances are there in this server? We can check from here itself directly from SQL Server Management Studio. If you go to File, Connect, see here, Connect, server name, browse for more, database engine, 1 2 3. Okay, in my laptop, 3 instances are there, right? This is the direct name, like in laptop name. This is your slash some name, slash some name. These are the 3 instances are there in my machine. Okay, right. 3 instances are there in my machine. Fine. That's it. Like means what? I have installed SQL Server 3 times. Its meaning. But already I have said in real time, in one VM, we have only one instance like this, which is called default instance. Here see some slash, some names are there. These are called named instances. This is called default instance, whose name is equal to my machine name, host name. These are called named instances, whose name is equal to machine name slash some name. First time whenever we install, in general, remember the default instance is created. Default instance is created. Next time whenever we are installing, named instances are created with slash some name. Slash some name. Got it, right? That's why total instances per machine. we have discussed 50, right? 50. So one we can have default, remaining 49 named instances if you want. But we never see like more than two instances in real time. Mainly we'll have one instance only in general. Okay, one server, one VM. Today, remember everything, we are not using physical servers today, right? Very rare. We are using VMs only, virtual machines only, VMs, VM, right? So that the VM virtual machines, we are maintaining SQL Server. And we know already we have after VM, like we have today, maybe some you are familiar with, we have containers, right? Containers after VM. Right now we have containers. Containers are basically like lightweight VM machines, lightweight VM machines in general. That will you can see on net actually what is container. Just alternative to VM is a container today. Fine. That is not our concept right now, but just remember one, yeah, VM, in a VM, we are installing SQL Server, right? That is like, let's see how we can see how many instances are there in this machine. So I can connect to all the three instances if you want, if there are permissions for me. Normally, remember, like as a DBA, we have access to all the SQL Server instances. Why? Because we are owners for database servers. Like that's here, one, two, three instances. Okay, in each instance, we have like databases here. Just hierarchy we have to understand. In one machine, in one machine, we can have one or more instances. Under instance, we have databases. Under database, we have schema. Under schema, we have tables like objects. Here, see, schema is like a folder to group the tables, to group the objects. Okay, schema is a folder. Right. Okay. So this is just a hierarchy we have to remember here. Okay, hierarchy. So what is the hierarchy? Like what, how SQL Server is there in a machine? Just we can remember here. Fine. Let then next one's here like got it right. In one machine, we can have one or more instances. Under that, one or more databases. Sorry, minimum we have 5 databases in every instance. We'll see. We can have maximum 32,767 databases, very huge. Under DB, we have a schema. Under that, objects. Objects are what? Tables, views, stored procedures, functions, triggers. Okay, check here. This is one instance, default instance. Under that, we have databases. If I open any database table, how the tables are like human resources dot department, person dot address, production dot something like that here. Okay, so here person is a schema name, dot password is a table name. Means to group the similar tables we have here schemas. These are here production related tables, for example, like sales related tables. Just to group the tables we have schemas. We'll see later. Just one point you have to understand. Whenever we install SQL Server, we are calling it as a instance. Instance. Okay, then or we can say instance is a group of databases, for example. Again, we can have one or more instances in the same host, actually, default and named instances. Just remember, like we have 3, 4 applications are there. For one application, I will use one instance, another application, another instance, another application, another instance, like that to reduce the uh, VM or like OS cost. Means in the same VM, you are maintaining multiple instances to reduce the licensing cost and easy maintenance purpose. Right. Okay. So if any questions are there, always asking, requesting actually, feel free to type in the chat panel. Okay. Can type in the chat panel. You can unmute yourself if you want. You can discuss if any questions are there. Always it is encourage. Yeah, I will. Yeah, better type in the chat panel. I will try to answer immediately. Yeah, Tayyip is immediately typing. Yeah. So okay. So meanwhile, let once we'll take his question. Meanwhile, let me go to. Mhm, okay. Instance summaries here. Before going to real-time installation, we'll see the instance summary again. One question is that Tayyip is asking, I think everyone can see in the chart. Sir, do we use VMs like VMware or these are for just practice? No, no, correct, Tayyip. In real time, we are installing in VMs only, like with VMware or Hyper-V, anything that is, those VMs are created by our systems team. Okay, so yeah, that's why, like, they will create and they will provide us access actually. We can use that those VMs. Okay, yeah, that is like we need to understand. VMs means VMs only we are using today, virtual machines. Right. Okay. So instance summary means like whenever we install SQL Server, uh, what is happening in the background, what main components are created, what uh, main components are created, we'll see here. Okay, what are the main components are created, we'll see here. Okay, right. Okay, so let me continue. I think that's where remember, like if some confusion may be there, I think Aparna has joined late, but we started with the same first slide. No need to worry, already it is recorded. If some simple questions are there, always feel free to ask, like Tayyip is asking. Like feel free to ask. I'm more happy to answer. Okay, right. Okay, so check here. Instance summary is there. Uh, one is like every instance, whenever we install SQL Server, we know that one instance is created. Every instance has its own services. Correct, right? Yesterday we have seen whenever we install SQL Server, automatically some services are created, right? The main services are there, SQL Server and SQL Server Agent. SQL Server and SQL Server Agent are our main services we have seen. Just remember one point, SQL Server is the main service which runs our queries, user queries. SQL Server Agent is for automation. Okay, to schedule the tasks, we have agent service, right? Yeah. Uh, Check here if I connect to the instance. Let me disconnect other instances. See, this is SQL Server service. This is our agent service. But right now, agent is stopped. Let me start. Yeah, in real time, remember, both the services must be running. Both the services must be running always in real time. Fine. Then automatically it's here whenever we install SQL Server, automatically some folders are created, which is called directory architecture of SQL Server. Directory architecture of SQL Server. Okay, so what are the folders are created here? Backup in data, like that, some folders are created. How we can see where are the folders? Let me check here. For example, if I right click on the server, properties here, properties, root directory, see here, means where this instance was installed exactly. Why? Because someone has installed earlier. You want to see in which drive, C drive or D drive or E drive, the instance was installed exactly. We can see here root directory, copy this path, okay, select all, copy this path, go to run, okay, paste, okay. Yeah, check here. These are the folders are there here. MS SQL Server is the main folder. Under that MS SQL, under that's your backup, bin, data, some few folders are created. Okay, so that is like how the folders are created in the background. Right, right. Okay, so just put on mute. Fizzle, just yeah. Check here. These are the folders are created automatically. Okay. Very fastly, we'll see one point about these folders. Later, we'll see some more details. Check here why these folders are created automatically. One is your backup folder. Okay, let me show you. Yesterday, we have installed one instance, right? This one, 02, MS SQL Server 02. Connect, right click, properties, root directory, copy this path, go to here. Yeah, check here. MS SQL Server 02 MS SQL. Check here some folders are there here automatically. One is your backup folder. Just remember backup folder is a default folder for backups. Means whenever we take backup of some database, without mentioning the complete path, okay, the backups are generated into this folder. Okay, backup folder. Got it, right? I will show you just for testing purpose. Don't get confusion. Suppose let's say a backup is nothing but remember copy. For security purpose, we are taking what? Backups actually, which is nothing but one copy. See here, backup database name to disk is equal to. See, here I'm not mentioning D drive or E drive, like complete path I'm not mentioning, right? That's why by default the backup is generated in that folder. Let me run this success it is saying. If I go to that folder, see master.bak file is there, right? So that's why remember without mentioning the path, If I take backup of database, by default, yeah, it is generated in this folder, which is a default folder for backups. But in real time, we'll see in our custom installation, we can't use this folder. We have to put backups in different location. Backups will place in what? Different location, different folder. Okay, right. Bin folder, binaries folder. Okay, so these are our software folders. Means our SQL Server software files are there in bin folder. Means see, if I run this query, how it is executed. So here we have some files are there, exe and dll files are there. These files are executing those queries. Okay, these files are executing those queries. Means we are not going to touch this folder. Okay, when you work for 20 years, 30 years, we won't work with this folder. Very rare. No need to work with this folder. Okay, so that is like a backup bin folder is there, binaries. Then we have data folder. Actually, remember this bin and install are called software folders. Software folders. Okay, software folders. Where our SQL Server files are there. Then say data folder. Data folder is a default folder for database files. Okay. Yeah. Database files means whenever we create a new database, automatically its files are created here in the data folder. Just remember, we know already in a database, data is stored in the form of tables, right? Tables. But remember internally or on hard disk, on hard disk, data is there in the form of files only. Second. Yeah, internally remember on hard disk, data is there in the form of what? Files only. We have two types of files are there here in SQL Server, data file and log file. Every database, whenever we create a new database, automatically remember data file, log file. Two files are created. Two files are created automatically. Okay. Right, right. Okay, so that is like, yeah, how by default we have what? Two files, data file, log file. Two files are created. Fine. Then we'll see about these two files. Why we have two files, we'll see. Just remember in SQL Server database, every database has two files, data file and log file. And those files are created by default in which folder? Data folder. Data folder. Okay. And remember once again, in real time, these folders also will customize. These folders also we are going to customize in real time. Like how I have said, like backup folder will change, will take the backups in D drive, E drive, something. This data file, data folders also will customize in real time. Okay, right. Okay, so yeah, we'll see again. But for demo purpose, let me show you. If I create a new database here, new database, HR, some name. Okay, see in the background automatically it is creating two files actually, data file, log file. Just say okay. Now if I check here, go to data folder, HRC data file, HR log file. See default location is what? Data folder. Okay, then we have some jobs folder where some jobs are created, but we are not using in most of the cases. Log folder, another important folder. Uh, this log folder has error logs. Error logs are very, very important for us. Okay, what it's meaning? Suppose let's say tomorrow, if anything happen in SQL Server, let's say some log shipping is not working, always on is not working, backups are not working, users are unable to connect with the server. What happened exactly? Why users are unable to connect? Why log shipping is not working? Why backups are not working? As a database admin, first we need to check the reason, right? Why exactly? We need to validate, right? First. So that we can validate by using this error log file. In error log file, we'll come to know exactly why backups are not working, why this error is happening. Okay, SQL Server will write very clear message in the error log, which is useful for DBAs. That's why already we know as a database admin, our job is troubleshooting. Correct, right? We are maintenance people, we are troubleshooting people. So, as part of troubleshooting, as part of troubleshooting, what we have to do? Uh, we have to check always error log. Anything happen? First step is what? Checking the error log. Okay, right. So very frequently we are using error log. So we can open the error log here, see with Notepad, for example. Yeah, this is here. Server was started on yesterday at yesterday we installed, right? My local time 7:49 p.m. My here Gulf Standard Time, Dubai time. After that, like so, all the steps are there, step by step. It has recorded. We can see here if any error is there. Just now we have created one database, right? By right clicking on databases, I did create one database, HR. You can see here, see what time I have created. Details are there. Means we have to understand here all the errors are like that's here. If any error is there, error is recorded along with the error message. Okay, so we can understand very clearly some mirroring related error is there here. Okay, so failed with error something like that. Say like we can see here. Actually, remember name is error log, right? All 100% errors are recorded here. 100% errors are recorded. Some information is also recorded, like see, like when the server was started, okay, at what time, okay. So step by step how it is starting, as well as I have created the database. Those details also means 100% error. Some information is also recorded in error log. Okay, but we need to filter for the errors. We can say control F some error. Okay, we can filter like this. What happened exactly? If want to search for any errors. Okay, this is here like our current error log, where our SQL Server is writing the events or errors. Mhm. Right, right. Okay, so go back here. These are see, we have directories are there. We have to understand here backup is for backups, data is to maintain database files, bin folder is our instance binaries, log folder maintains what? Error logs, and we have to see here current error log. We can see the same logs here also. We'll see later actually. See current one, two, same logs. Here also we can open. See same log actually, but it is showing here in descending order. First startup event, then this is what database creation here. Descending latest events first. Here also we can filter. Message contains here error, apply filter. Okay, we can see the same. Some mirroring errors are there. Okay, so like that's it, like we can filter the logs from here also, but don't get any confusion. Only one point we have to understand. SQL Server writes all the events in the error log, especially all the errors. Some other files are there here, which are recording some other details like system health, like something that we'll see later. Now, no need. But you have to understand purpose of error log. Yeah, these are, see, every instance has its own folders. We'll see this one later. Then every instance has its own system DBs. System DBs are there here by default. Whenever we install SQL Server, automatically 5 databases are created by default. See here, if someone is working with Oracle, in Oracle we have table spaces, like 5 table spaces are created. System, syslogs, temp, user, like something. Same thing here also. We have 5 databases are automatically created. Okay, so master MSDB model tempdb resource. Check here if I go to, okay, under system databases here, master model MSDB tempdb. By default, they are created. One more database is a resource database, which is a hidden database. We'll see later. Just one point. Remember why these databases are created. Just one point. Later we'll see. Actually, remember these databases maintains metadata. Metadata. What it's meaning? Suppose let's say like in this instance in this server, how many databases are there? How many users are there? Which user has what permission? What is the database size? How we know? That's why all these details are recorded in master database. Master database. Master database is a main database in SQL Server. Okay, right, right. Okay, so master is what? Compulsory database, or it is a main database. Got it, right? Yeah. Without master database, remember, SQL Server will not work. Means in this server, how many DBs are there? How many logins are there? All these details are there in what? Master database, which is a compulsory database. Just remember only one point. Master database consists of all server level settings. Okay, right. Next one's here like model database is there. Model database name itself is saying it is a template for new databases. Means whenever we right click here, create new database, the database is created with how much size, in which location, those are maintained in what model database. Okay, so we are not working as a DBA, we are not working with this database regularly. Then MSDB database is there. Microsoft database or Microsoft scheduling database means all the automation details are recorded in MSDB database like jobs, alerts. Means whenever we schedule any like backups or some maintenance activities, all those schedules are maintained. See all these jobs, alerts, all these are maintained in MSDB database. Another important database. Okay, right. TempDB database is there, which maintains all the temporary objects, temporary tables, temporary stored procedures. Okay, the process of sorting, grouping, joining, all these uses space in TempDB. TempDB is like our system's RAM. Like in our laptop, RAM is there, right? What is the purpose? Whenever we open like application, the application uses space on RAM. Once we close this, then the memory is released. Same thing to run some queries like to do some sorting, grouping, joining. SQL Server uses tempdb space. In general, what happened whenever we restart SQL Server, whatever the data is there in tempdb, it is cleared, flushed out. Why? Because the data is not required. Just remember, we have to understand it is a processing area. Processing area. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. So these are we have to understand. A resource database is there, another database which is a hidden database, which is for patching purpose. We'll discuss that later. Okay. Just remember one point. Master is our main database where all the server level settings are maintained. Uh, Next year model is what? Template for new databases. Model is a template for new databases. Then uh, where whenever a new database is created with same settings from model, the new database is created. MSDB maintains automation information like schedules, jobs, everything, uh, which is also important database. TempDB is for processing purpose like sorting, grouping, joining, all these uses space in TempDB to prepare the result set, to prepare the output. Got it, right? So, okay. So these are like various databases are available with us. System databases are available, which are compulsory databases, which are created automatically once we install SQL Server. As a DBA, we have to work with master and MSDB. Okay, right, right. That is every instance has its own system databases. Next, we have error logs. Already we have discussed this. Right? To check any errors for troubleshooting, we need to verify the error logs. Yeah, that is like instance summary. What are the main components of every instance? Yeah, what we'll do like next one. System requirements are there already. We have seen in yesterday also in some link, Microsoft website link. Very basic requirements are there, right? OS like Windows 2016 onwards, memory at least 4 GB, CPU speed 2 gigahertz at least, hard disk space 6 GB from SQL Server 2016 onwards. SQL native client. See, generally remember whenever we install SQL Server, by default SQL Server is installed with a default port. Default port number for SQL Server is 1433. Okay, default port number. Generally in the interview they will ask what is the default port number for SQL Server. Okay, but as part of security reasons, normally we'll change this port number. Why? Because everyone know, right? Some hacker also he may try to connect with this port number. That's why always best practice you change the port number after installation. That we'll discuss in our custom installation in the next class, real-time installation. Okay. Then SQL native client is required, which is by default installed. PowerShell also comes along with OS. .NET framework, I think 4.8 something is required. It also comes along with OS. Setup support files, these are also installed first time automatically. Some Windows services are required. These we know already. These also comes along with OS. And some browser is required, just not compulsory. Any browser to open the help and to see, not compulsory. And see how much out of 6 GB is for complete installation. Complete means today we have started with SQL Server components, right? Like database engine, SSIS, SSRS, SSAS, plus our tool SSMS. Complete if you want to install 6 GB, but only for database engine, right? Around 1500 MB, less than 2 GB. So here we have seen the complete details are there in the link. Okay, what are the prerequisites are there? You can go through one time. It is better always. Okay, so these are like just what is what. Yeah, one second before going to start with real-time installation. What I will do, I will conclude the session here. We'll continue again tomorrow. How we'll do real-time installation, how we'll get the request from which team will get the request to install SQL Server, how we'll check the license, all those things I will discuss, okay, in detail in the next session. Okay, right. Let me conclude the session here. Today we have seen like main concepts we have discussed. SQL Server components we have seen, database engine we are working, as well as SSIS also will install in every server. Second one, we have seen two types of instances are there, default and named instance. Uh, Default instance we are working with regularly in real time. Then we have discussed already every instance has its own services, folders, system DBs, and error log. Okay, after that we have seen like what are the system requirements are there to install SQL Server. Okay, so we'll continue again with the real-time installation, which is required, which is important for us, how we are doing in organizations. Okay, so what we'll ask to our system team, what drives are required. So we'll discuss those things. Right. I think already you are familiar with